Greetings and welcome to the IT Chronicles podcast. We're coming to you from Las Vegas at Gartner Data Center conference with Raihan Zaidi and Carlos Casanova. Raihan Zaidi is joining us to discuss Kaiser Permanente, his work there. He'll be presenting on Wednesday. Very interested to hear what you'll be talking about, Raihan.
Absolutely. I'm talking about storage service performance, particularly in today's age of the cloud, where the focus is on experience and making things easy for our customers. And that's something that hasn't really been done, or it's not that common in the infrastructure space. And that's what we're talking about. So we are undergoing a major transformation in our storage area, where we are trying to move from being an implementer of technology to being the provider of a service.
Yes. So it sounds like you're doing a lot of sort of easy use and providing capabilities rather than, here's some hardware, here's some storage kind of things. Is that kind of where you're going with that?
That is correct. So that the whole process from ingest to the intake to the requesting, the provisioning, a lot of that we would like to make it as easy as it is on, say, something like AWS. We'd like to provide a similar experience and a similar capability for those intake process, as well as through the life cycle, so that you have reporting, you have all of the life cycle processes that happen that are well integrated and done from a very user-centric point of view.
And of course, storage, that's not small change in a company like Kaiser Permanente. I would imagine that simply tracking the storage for charging and accounting must be a significant challenge for you.
It absolutely is. And that was one of the processes that was broken. It's very, very manual. It's, the rules aren't very clear. Lots of Excel spreadsheets and SharePoint sites. Mm-hmm. So those are the things in that process that we are trying to clean up and make easier. And it's not just for the end users. Our service provider team, they have to do a lot of manual work to keep track of it. And then the finance group within infrastructure IT that actually handles the chargeback with the consuming departments, it makes things easier for them as well.
I would think that also has a major impact on speed. We've all heard the stories of it takes days or weeks to get something. I would assume doing something like this now would be able to provide that capability that much faster.
Absolutely, and you bring up a great point, Carlos. We've got a converged platform for our internal cloud, which is currently makes up a small share for storage, but there's a lot more automation, there's a lot more things that hide an underlying complexity for the user, and we're trying to up-level the experience on the legacy side to be consistent with that.
Right. Infrastructure as code is a big topic nowadays, being able to simply just declare what storage you need and automate it that way rather than having to file a service request ticket, for example.
Absolutely. It should be almost instantaneous. From you make a request on some kind of magical portal,
right,
and it's available to you almost immediately. Now, we are on the legacy storage side, we're a little bit away from that.
Yes,
on our converged internal cloud, it almost is that instantaneous today.
So you're heading towards an API strategy almost?
Yes, that is one of the things that is on our roadmap for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I mean, that's such a progression in maturity when you think of, we've kind of moved, we were moving for the longest time, you need another server. And we were always talking in the technology bits and pieces and understanding why everyone was outside of that space getting confused. And now it seems like we're walking back from that and saying, here's just what you need to get your job done.
Exactly right. And we've had all these stovepipes where network, storage, compute. And in essence, our customers for infrastructure is really, it's the application teams that provide the applications to the end users. And so with Converge especially, all of those silos are breaking down. And we are providing application teams with what they need, the capabilities they need to actually provide the business capability.
Right. That's so great.
Users are asking for.
Yeah, it's so great to hear you talk in that way, because customers are customers, and the INO organization provides products and services to the application and tech and the application and digital product teams, which then deliver to the market. But it still is a customer relationship, and it should be thought of that way. So it's very exciting to hear you communicating that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, the keynote this morning spoke a lot to value and the business connection to value. So it seems like that's ultimately the driver that you're really getting to. Is it's the application team, but the application team has their delivery to their business partners.
Correct, correct. So a survey that we conducted, this is one of the first times we actually had conducted a survey of our customers, showed that the three things that customers are lacking in and they want to improve are in the actual experience. They want easier processes on our side. They want speed. They want lots of communications and visibility. And so those are the things that we are concentrating on.
Right.
And as you said, the faster that we can provide those capabilities on the infrastructure side, then the faster that the business capabilities that we need to be successful as an organization and to our end users who actually pay the rates and our members, the faster we can do those things.
Right.
Yep, and it enables that fast feedback that they're looking for at the business level, which helps them keep on track with what the business needs.
Precisely.
Yeah, so that's great. You must have some fairly strong regulatory and compliance issues in healthcare, of course. Are
Yes.
do those play in as you build your architecture here?
Absolutely. So one of the things over the years, a lot of the compliance and the regulatory needs that are a requirement for us to stay in business have been folded in and are part of the solution that we, the infrastructure IT, provide. And that's not really something that a lot of the shadow groups, and there are shadow groups definitely at our company,
Sure.
that are necessarily able to provide. And because of the nature of the business that we are in, we tend to be somewhat risk averse. Mm-hmm. And so we don't always jump on the latest and greatest technologies. It has to be proven. It has to, because one of the worst things that could happen is there's an incident with somebody on an operating table. We absolutely do not want that.
Yes.
You as a member do not want that, and we as a provider absolutely.
And as a patient, we definitely don't want
It's not a good day for anybody concerned, yeah.
So I mean, I would think that would really force you to have to do a lot of this, at least to the point you were just getting at, doing a lot more of this internally maybe than leveraging external providers, at least initially, until you kind of get your arms wrapped around exactly what you need and understand how it works before you go out and get vendors to provide some of that.
That is correct. We are, definitely the external cloud is, there is a shift to all things cloud, even though the speaker this morning said, yep, they're already on their horizon. The gentleman from Andreessen Horowitz said, yeah, it might be somewhat passé, but for most of us, we're still getting up to there, and there's definitely huge advantages, and we are gearing up to start making use of it for things that make sense.
Right.
But a lot of the crown jewels, so to speak, will remain behind the fence.
Right.
Understand. Well, Raihan, very good to see you, and thank you so much for coming and talking to us at IT Chronicles. Thanks again.
Pleasure to
Thank
be
you,
here.
Raihan.
Absolutely.